Hello and welcome to episode 52 of FPL Apprentice, the only podcasting series that dives into the mind of one of the greatest players to ever play the game, current world number 9, former world number 1, and 20 top 25 finish 8 times in 9 seasons with 5 top 5k finishes. Everybody knows it already, Matt. I say it every week. How have you been, mate?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you for the intro, my friend. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Feeling very rusty and underprepared for this. Thank you for the prompt like an hour before we started around. Hey, we're catching up. Send over the bus
No
team.
problem.
It wasn't a pretty
Oh, wait.
sight. Wasn't a pretty sight. But yeah, I'm kind of like a bit out of sync. But I'm feeling good, mate. I'm feeling good. How has the international break been for you?
All right. It's felt a long week. I've
Yeah.
missed it. Bad news is there's only 4 weeks and then we hit another one, but kind of works out nicely for our holiday time. I'm off 1 week, you're off the week after, so we only miss one game week rather than two together, which is pretty handy, which we'll talk about closer to the time. But yeah, okay. Um, I felt the last game week we both finished on, not to spoil, but we both finished on green arrows. Always nice to go into the international break with a green arrow, but I still feel we might have both felt slightly disappointed with our score at the same time. So I might as well bring it up now. We may as well touch on them. But yeah, have you felt it's been quite a long international break? Have you enjoyed it? Happy to get back to it?
Um, yeah, I mean when you got a bit of average score, it's always good to have the break. So yeah. Haven't haven't really thought about FPL until kind of right now. So it's been
Glad
good.
I could
It's been
bring you
good.
back in.
Yeah, I thought I thought we were going to go down like a winding route of talking about TV and films and stuff.
Might be better, right? I
Yeah.
don't even know what a bit. What tell you what I've got into? The New Zealand edition of The Traitors, and the UK one's back soon. If you don't watch The Traitors, Matt, get involved.
I've never watched it. I've never watched it. What have I been watching? Monsters Menendez Brothers. Very good. Very good.
Okay,
That was a binge watch
is
this
that the
weekend.
next Netflix TV series?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
think it's the same series as the Jeffrey Dahmer one that was out a year or two ago.
yeah.
So like obviously depicting real life events, but like yeah, like a form of a drama. Like so that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Some
It is on the
was the
list.
year that happened was like late 80s, early 90s. So like very good soundtrack.
Okay, that's what I'm after. It's like
Yeah.
Stranger, right? Half of that's because of the soundtrack.
Yeah, pretty much. But enough on that. Enough on that. We've probably lost our 10 of our
Everybody's
30
dropped
listeners.
off. But yeah, this I don't know. Again, I'm quite happy to go through first. Whilst you take a look at your team and remember who you had.
Mhm.
Um, we both got the same points, which is pretty cool. That doesn't happen very often. Just got in slightly different ways. So 2.5 million game week rank, above average. Did get a green arrow, not a major lift, but up from 1.6 million to 1.2. Slightly aggrieved by a couple of things. I don't think going Haaland as captain at home to Fulham is a bad move ever, because Haaland's been on absolute form. City can turn it on against anybody. Slightly disappointed to see he only had expected goal in that game of 0.25, which is his lowest this season. So Fulham Fulham could have won that game if you watched it. Had more chances. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. A bit unlucky to come away with a defeat there, but yeah, kept Haaland very quiet. The vice captain Saka pulled out 16 points. Did
Mhm.
overperform. Goal and 2 assists from expected data of 1.24 goal involvement. So very much an overperformance from his side. But nice to have him in the team as well. I think we both had expected ownership of less than 100% for Saka, so he still was instrumental to our green arrow. The one that's really frustrated me since I got him in on the wild card was Edison. Now he is more expensive than a lot of the keepers. At that level, you may be looking at Raya, maybe Allison or Edison. That's generally the
Mm.
top three defenses in the division. But Edison has only kept, or City, should I say, have only kept one clean sheet all season. That was game week 1. He's also been booked in his last 3 game weeks, which is really frustrating for a goalkeeper.
Uh,
3 and 7, 3 yellow cards in 7 games, which is crazy. So he pulled in a 0. Now he has got Wolves, Southampton, and Bournemouth in his next 3, but that leads me very nicely into game week 12 when a lot of the fixtures turn, and I don't
Yeah,
think he'll keep him in game week 12. I think he is an easy way of taking money out of him, getting a million maybe out of him. If I go Sanchez, he's an early thought, maybe getting 500,000 out of him to spend elsewhere. But I'm keeping him for the next 3. He's just been very frustrating. Dominic
Mm.
Calvert-Lewin, another not delivered since I bought him in. Um, and his stats aren't that impressive. It was, I think, for us both a bit of a toss-up. Do you go Calvert-Lewin? Do you go Chris Wood? And Calvert-Lewin's more guaranteed on the minutes.
Mm.
Sometimes gets subbed off, whereas Calvert-Lewin doesn't. So went that way. But yeah, he's not been great. But again, there's fixtures: Ipswich, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham, and Brentford. So
Yeah, you got to hope in you. Yeah, I've been disappointed with DCL because, like, again, he blocks you from Wood. I think we're
yeah,
probably at the stage where it's just like, I don't know whether you class Wood as a better player, but Forest is certainly a better team that creating chances, right? And Wood is the focal point for those chances, right? So, um, yeah, Calvert-Lewin, I've been there before, like where it's like he doesn't really do anything for long periods, and then you get him for a good fixture run, but you never get those returns. So yeah, we can't really move him out based on
yeah, for the
those
stick.
fixtures. But like, yeah, you missed out on Woods. You're missing now out on like Cunha potentially, missing out on
Yeah,
Delap as well. Like some again like G players who are returning with nice runs themselves. So yeah, he's been
the
disappointment. But yeah,
could
I
turn.
mean my
That
team
could
similar to
turn.
yours really, and it's like same points, slightly different ways of getting them. I mean, um, yeah, it's kind of fine. Green arrow when you have a captaincy blank is always good. Solanke, he got an assist, a really nice assist as well. He didn't really get any underlying stats, but he was looking good. And when I saw the 2 goals in the first half, I was rubbing my hands thinking this would be Spurs winning. But obviously they kind of imploded, if I remember correctly. They lost 3-2, didn't
Yeah,
they? Yeah, I went double Arsenal defence, and I think that's just been a little bit annoying on wildcard because I think like the underlying stats have been really good, probably the best 2 fixtures defensively that Arsenal had this year, and they've conceded in both of them. So against Leicester, it was 0.32 goals conceded. It was 0.65 against Southampton. Yeah, they found a way to concede it in both games. So that's a little bit disappointing. But yeah, kind of like average kind of a game week. Yeah, and Bruno looking good, of course. I actually got
Bumo, right? How do they score 5 and he's only involved in one of them?
yeah, that's a bit kind of weird. That is a bit weird, but I mean, he was very involved based on highlights and his stats. So
It was a
like,
good bonus,
yeah,
which was
exactly,
handy.
exactly. So you'll take that. You gave me a heads up with Diaz being benched, so thank you for that. I saw a text
You
as
are welcome.
I was on way to I did a track day at Silverstone actually that Saturday. So I was like, I tactically planned uh, a stop off at a service station, like 5 to 11. And I saw your text, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to be pretty legit." So yeah, that's the benefit of having that fifth midfielder, right?
Yeah.
Semenyo and Rogers in both our teams. So I was like, "Yeah, cool. I'll play Rogers." He didn't get any return, but I'm kind of happy with that I'm up 2 points. So yeah, benefiting from a leak. So yeah, happy days. But yeah, I kind of felt feeling like that was pretty average, boring game week.
Wasn't great. The only one that really annoyed me as well. I'm quite happy I've got the Arsenal call right. That's the one benefit from a wild card. I feel I went Havertz over a second Arsenal defender, and it's worked out for the time
Well,
being. He scored in both games.
he's not been amazing though, is he? Like
No,
he could have done a lot better based on like his stats and stuff like that.
honestly,
And
it's
those are the 2 games. I think what did he get? 6 and 8. So I'd just take
6
that
and
any
8.
day.
Need him.
But
Need him
you'd
to
be
score
hoping for
against
more than
Bournemouth.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll again spoilers, but after the Bournemouth game, the way the Arsenal fixtures go, I may as well ask you this question. I was going to ask you at some point, but I may as well ask you now.
Hmm.
In my head, come game week 10, Arsenal have 3 really difficult fixtures. I can't think of who it is. Liverpool's one. Uh,
Liverpool,
I know
Newcastle,
you'll
Chelsea, Forest.
thank you. Liverpool. So they're tough games, and even Forest, went to Anfield, got a win 1-0. Went to
Yeah.
Stamford Bridge, drew 1-1. Not an easy game. I
Yeah.
am probably going to sell Havertz in game week 10. You've obviously got 3 Arsenal players yourself. Is the plan
Yeah.
to keep all 3 for that fixture run, or get rid of one of them?
Yeah, probably get rid of. They're not the worst fixtures, really, are they? Either like from like Liverpool at home, which is a tough one, and Newcastle away, Chelsea away, right? So I think Arsenal would be favourites in probably all 3 of those, right? So I think I'd get rid of one, and the natural choice is Saliba, right? So I think that was always on my kind of plan, is to kind of dump him, kind of like come game week 10, probably for a City defender, but like I have to kind of wait to see if like one of them kind of screams out as the obvious one. Obviously, at the moment, is it Lewis as a cheaper option, or is it Guardiola as a nailed option, like him as a nailed option? So obviously that interesting one where Lewis plays, it kind of diminishes Guardiola's role because he's not playing as advanced. So yeah, probably for a City defender, kind of really. And I think it's to a similar extent the same can apply for Liverpool, right? So I'm looking at their fixtures now. What have they got? Well, they got mixed run now, haven't they? They got mixed. I think it's fair to say mixed, right? Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, Villa. That's not great. Yeah.
This is where wherever Liverpool top, this is where the challenge begins for Liverpool.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, should we move on?
It was a bit of a bore. The only one that, like when we spoke about the wild card, I had Collins in the team, and he ended up shipping him out for Van der Berg on the gamble that he'd continue to play and save himself $500,000.
Yeah.
Collins got 10 points this game week. He got a goal and an assist for a defender. He won the penalty. So that was a shame, but that was. I mean, I was never playing on Collins for goals and assists, so that's just.
Oh,
is
I
what
think
it is.
you were talking about really wanted the captain Saka though as well. So was that?
I did
It's
consider
all talk,
captain and
or
Saka.
yeah.
Absolutely, it was all talk. Of course, it was all talk. Like, the fear of missing out on Haaland when he bangs a hat trick is always too much. That I'll always go Haaland. And this is the problem because it's effective ownership. So in my head, I was like, well, if Saka bangs, he's less than 100% owned effectively, so I'll still make ground. Whereas if Haaland bangs and Saka doesn't, and I've captained Saka, that is going to crucify my rank. It's. I know it's not the way you taught me to play, Matt, but I can't get my head out of that worry.
No, fair enough. I hear you.
But welcome on to the mini league because we have a new leader. I didn't look where me and you were because we've dropped again. 70 in the division. I'm roughly 37th, and you're roughly 45th. There or thereabouts.
Competitive
But
league, yeah. That's competitive.
yeah, that's it. Just the people that we've got are so good. But Ahmad has come to the top with a game week score of 69 points. So a really good game week there, taken to 508 in total. Just to put that into context, Matt. Oh, I haven't updated my score, but you're on 427. So 81 points behind the leader. That's catchable up. You've got 30 game weeks to do it.
I'll back myself on that. That's actually kind of quite reassuring because kind of where are they? Like I'll have a look now. Where are they ranked overall?
Good shout. Good shout.
Let's see.
I think if you're 80, if you're 81 back, I'm about 70 back. I think I'm about 11 ahead of you. Just
they're 11k, they're 12k. So like that's cool. There's not huge gaps at the moment. Yeah.
So yeah, that Ahmad, Matt is calling you out. You've got 30 weeks to stay ahead of him.
I mean, 81 points is a huge difference, right? When everyone's team are pretty much a variation of
a similar squad,
9 similar players, and like a variation of like 2 random ones. So yeah, that is tough.
It is. So my big Gary still in there in 4th place. Hope you're listening, Gary. And then there you go. So read the top 3: Ahmed first, Jacob in 2nd, and then Omar in 3rd. What's the name there? I was rude to an idiot. I don't know. It's a good name. Should give points just for best names as well. Waiting for the Diop in number 10 there for Jonas. I like that too. But until we're in the top 10, we're not going to pay too much attention to this league, but for anybody that does want to join, the code is T27ZGC. That's Tango 27 Zulu Golf Charlie. But well done, Ahmed. You'll only be there for now. One of us is coming for you. Something I wanted to look at today
Mhm.
was the thought on Diaz. Now, I was going to do it about Diaz and Saka, but up until yesterday, I basically think Saka's going to be fine. So Lee Carsley, before the England game, mentioned this is his quote: Bakayo would have been close, but it would have been unfair to take a risk with him. So that to me suggests if it was a World Cup game or in the Euros or something, Saka would have been fit enough to play. He didn't want to take a chance because he felt it was unfair on the player. He's probably going to be fine for the weekend. So I think
Yeah.
that Saka Amber is a distraction. Um, Diaz, on the other hand, obviously benched. He's been away playing international football in South America.
Mhm.
And what happened after the last international break was he was benched for Gakpo again. So,
Yeah.
is number one, do you worry about Diaz yourself with having him in your squad?
Mhm.
And whether you answer yes or no, we are still going to look at potential replacements for Diaz to see who in that similar price bracket, looking at 8 million and less, might be potential replacements, especially with the Liverpool fixtures being a bit, not the
Yeah.
best
I
anyway.
mean, I think you can. Yeah, I think anyone who brought in Diaz on wildcard or has had him like long term is always probably looking at post international break and some dodgy fixtures as, hey, that's a time to jump off. So it's not like a surprise, right? I think him getting bent and like there's always a rotation risk with Gakpo, right? Given all the forwards, bar Salah has been rotating around. So it's not like we're surprised and astonished by this. It's not like new information. But yeah, I think it's a valid time to jump off him. Likewise, if you got decent subs, and you want to play that risky game of waiting to see does he start, does he not? It's valid to keep him. So I don't think it's a must. Definitely not a buy, but he's not a must sell. There's interesting options. So, I mean, I won't ruin the story around like the stats and stuff like it, but like, yeah, if you don't have Mbumo with United, Ipswich, Fulham, Bournemouth, there's the next four. That's it's like a super obvious jump off, right?
Yeah.
That's like really obvious. I mean, Gordon on the other side there, with fixtures like Brighton, Chelsea, Arsenal, Forest. I wouldn't be transferring Diaz out for Gordon, right? That's a tough fixture run. Will I be going
Yeah.
Traore? No, I know you probably put these guys up because they got good expected stats, but would I be going for a Madison or a Johnson? Potentially. And I mean, if the question is like a good midfielders, 8 million give or take and under, I'd add Bowen as a consideration. I think he has a nice run. Same with Eze, right? So yeah, there's a few midfielders here that I think are Brennan Johnson as well. I think there's a few that you can kind of consider if you do want to jump off the ass. But I don't think it's like a massive panic station. So you can be relaxed and kind of wait around. I mean, what's outside of Mbumo, none of these guys are screaming out to me as must own, which is a bit of a
Yeah,
is
yeah.
kind of like
Well,
it's
looking
kind of
at
why I got a bit of approach to this game. Just because like
yeah,
there's not
it's
any
like
like
there's nothing obvious.
yeah.
And sometimes is the rule if there's nothing obvious, don't do anything.
No, I think so. Like because obviously things can happen, right? And you can like saving transfers opens loads more pathways down the line, right? So um yeah, it's a tough one. But yeah, I think these are good options and Boomer's a good option. Then I like Madison, I like Johnson, I like Eze, I like Bowen. Bowen I'd be going Gordon or Traore. I
No,
don't know why
and
you
it's
put them up, but
yeah. Basically, I've looked at the top five players, 8 million and under midfielders, should I say, who have the highest expected points.
mhm,
Unsurprisingly, Diaz is number one, but it's who's his replacement? And Bumo's number two. Adama Traore is number three. And looking at the stats from an expected goals point of view, he's ahead of Mbumo. He's ahead of Madison. He's ahead of Gordon.
yeah.
3.24, but he's only put one away. He's also basically matches Mbumo for expected assists. Again, he's ahead of Edison.
Mm.
Madison, even, he's ahead of Gordon. His stats are unreal. The fixtures, Villa, Everton, Brentford, and Palace, are also decent. but I am never going to bring Adama Traore into my squad. It just doesn't feel he's underperforming quite dramatically. But is that because that's just the sort of player he is?
Yeah,
Simple as that. So,
I think so.
speaking of the others that you mentioned, I'm a big fan of Madison. He's on here. He's slightly from a point of view, slightly under, but he's basically in line. I like West Ham, Palace, Villa at home, Ipswich at home as a fixture run. A lot of people will be asking for your mate Johnson. That I'm not going to say his first name because I'll get it wrong. Brennan Johnson.
Yeah.
Now Johnson expected points compared to Madison. He's 10 behind. He's 31. His expected goals is slightly ahead, but he's nowhere near on the expected assists. His actual points are 36. He's overperforming his stats. And in this rank, I mentioned at the beginning there, this was expected points. These are the top 5. Johnson is number 18. There are 17 players ahead of him in the midfield bracket at 8 million under for expected points.
I mean, there's stats, right? And there's stats, right? So let me take a pinch of salt, right? Because it's like, what? It's been 7 game weeks,
7.
game weeks, right? So it's like you can have variance, and like there's never an exact science like within a game week. So I think the sample size is so small, but like you're talking about fine margins here in terms of the differences. You're saying, hey, he's a top 20, and maybe his minutes were like less at the beginning of the season, right? If you're talking about a top 20 midfielder in terms of underlying stats, that's cool.
On that point, when I swing it and it's expected points per 90, Johnson moves up to number 6. This is again the top 5. Diaz and
exactly.
these 4,
So you,
and then
like,
Johnson's
obviously with
number
these
6.
things, you're playing with minutes, and like obviously it doesn't apply for Madison because they're in the same team, but you're trying to apply a forward view as well, right? So how sustainable the underlying stats are based on fixtures coming up. So for Spurs, you'd think that they would get better because they got a nice little run, haven't they?
Yeah.
They got
If you
West
had to
Ham
pick,
at home and Ipswich at home within the next 4.
yeah.
Um,
If you were picking Madison at 7.5, Johnson at 6.5, and ignore the fact you're Welsh, take that out of the equation. If you have to pick between Madison and Johnson, who would you get?
Oh yeah, kind of pure like for like, probably Madison, right? Just like assured minutes, and yeah, that's better data. But obviously Johnson is a million cheaper, right? So it's what that enables you to do with other players, right?
Yeah.
I don't know
I get that.
if that allows you to go. I don't know. Let's say you're doing a move 2 players and you bring in Johnson, and then Johnson being cheaper allows you to bring in Palmer for someone. You can get Palmer in for, I don't know, Bruno Fernandes, or you're getting rid of Diaz and someone else. Like,
yeah.
Then it becomes interesting. But yeah, obviously, Madison's a million more.
For a reason, I suppose. On that,
I don't know if I go.
again,
What about Bowen versus Madison?
so Bowen doesn't appear, right? I've just got it up now, so I'm looking again. I'll change it to per 90 just so it's a bit fair. He's got to be under 8 million, right?
He's 7.4.
7.4. So he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. I'm not Adam yet. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He is 18th for expected points per 90. Which shocks me because he's come out with quite a few goals. He's come
He's
out
got 5 returns, right? He's got
yeah
5 returns so far this year. And like they've had a kind of toughish run. I don't know. I would like to have gone Bowen as a sure thing by this time in the season, but despite him scoring a goal and assist last game week against Ipswich, right? West Ham just looked really bad, and they like Bowen himself has been fine, but like
stats backing up. He's not there for no, what did I just say? He was 15th. 15th for expected per 18th or whatever it was. There was a lot ahead of him, right? What about somebody like Bernardo Silva? No, stay away. Stay away from City altogether.
Yeah, midfielders, yeah.
Okay, so got a question for you. My mate John, aka Taxman14, has sent in a question. I know your answer already because it's around City midfielders. Now he wants to have for this nice fixture run that they've got. So they've got Wolves, Southampton, and Bournemouth in the next three. He is looking to have two of their midfielders. If you had to have two, now your answer seems to be don't have any, but if you had to have two, who would they be and why?
Uh, I'd probably not go for any of them if I was being honest, but yeah, probably Foden and Bernardo. I think just because of being in attacking positions and probably having a little bit more certainty around minutes.
Yeah,
With De Bruyne kind of like back out, sorry, but who else can you go? Kovacic, you're not going. He's probably the top scoring midfielder,
yeah.
I'd imagine. But like, you're not going for that deep line playmaker. You go
What about
Gundogan, but
Doku,
yeah, Doku's.
Grealish?
I think Grealish is going to come back on that wing now and then. Yeah, what happened with Savio with his minutes because he was looking quite good, right? And he's been injured, though, hasn't he? So like he hasn't played for a couple of weeks,
Yeah,
but Bernardo still didn't play there. So yeah, I'd probably go Foden and Bernardo at this stage.
purely because they're probably more guaranteed the minutes.
Yeah, I think so. And like, yeah,
Yeah.
being in attacking positions, otherwise you'd go Kovacic, right? But yeah, I'm not a
Yeah.
huge fan of any at the moment. What was your stack rack on this though? Your Diaz replacements.
What if I was rating them? I'd have
Yeah.
Madison number one,
Well,
which
Mbeumo.
we'll see when it comes on to. Oh no, I've got him already. Yeah, if I
Yeah.
didn't have Mbumo, I'd have Mbumo number one,
Yeah. Yeah.
based on those fixtures, and he's second to Diaz in terms of the data. I'd have Madison number two. I would be just to be a bit different. I'd be tempted by Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Personally, I would. So he hasn't scored yet this season, which is a bit off putting. But I think the City fixtures of Wolves, Southampton, and Bournemouth, I can see them getting a 4-0, 5-0 victory in that
Mm.
fixture run. And Silva pops up with points. If it's a short term 3 game week punt, I don't mind Silva as a pick.
Yeah. I'd go Mbeumo, of course, and then probably Eze.
Is a second.
Yeah. Bowen, I think.
Third.
Then
Talking me
Madison.
out of Madison. Madison fourth. Again, so I'm just looking at the fixture run for Palace. So
It's
away at
mixed,
Forest,
but
at
like
home to
it's been
Spurs.
mixed. It's been mixed all year, and
Yeah,
he's been looking good.
just can't. But the thing that puts me off him, right? And I keep thinking back to what we did last season when we had Nico Jackson who had the stats and Darwin Nunes who had the stats. He's got the stats, Eze, no question about it. But he's only returned in 1 game all season. It just puts me off.
Yeah, there's enough. You've seen him play enough that he's kind of not a bad finisher.
I just expected involvement of 4.5 and he's on 1. I just want to see a couple of games where he starts to hit some returns before I bring
Every
him in.
single game, minutes played 90. There's a lot to love about that, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's not on
So
pens though, is he? Is Mateta the penalty taker?
and Mateta didn't play the last couple of games. He's been benched. So um, yeah, who knows?
Interesting. Interesting. So lots to think about. So we're both. If you got Diaz and I've got Mbumo, and Mbumo's number one.
Yeah,
Then
none of
yeah,
these guys are massively inspiring, right? With the fixture, they've all got mixed fixture runs, right? That's the problem. That's why this stuff.
yeah. But unfortunately, Palmer's too expensive, and I don't like his fixtures anyway. So he's gone. Um, but yeah, okay, okay,
What would you do
interesting.
if Saka was out
If Saka was out, because I was going to get rid of an Arsenal player next game week anyway, I'd sell Saka.
for
No, I haven't
what?
got any money in the bank.
Go to Palmer or to Salah, or get one of these guys.
I haven't got any money in the bank. Is the problem. I've got two transfers though.
Hmm.
So I don't want to go to Parma until game week. I don't like Chelsea's fixtures. I don't know. You could be seen as fixture proof, but
But
I
I think
dare say,
enough to say he is.
yeah. I mean, but he's got to do what it is. He's got Liverpool next at Anfield, and it puts me off. Puts me off getting him. Can't back against myself, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but I think I'd have to. I think if Saka was out, I'd have to find the 0.8, and that could quite easily be let's get rid of Edison now and take him down to a 4.5 million keeper. Found the money,
Mm.
Saka up to Palmer. Like that probably if Saka's out, I don't think he will be though.
No, no.
Myself,
Would you try and squeeze the money to go to Salah, or would you just go straight to Palmer?
straight to Palmer.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's a bit too squad breaking to go back to Salah.
Yeah, it's too much. Especially if because I'd end up keeping Diaz anyway if Saka's out. So don't feel like I'd need to bring in Salah. What would you
Mm.
do if Saka's out?
Yeah, probably
You'd be
Palmer.
free transfers, Palmer.
Yeah, I'd have to I'd have to move someone out, but I could go Diaz down to Eze and yeah, Saka up to Palmer. Like that makes Eze more exciting, right? Enabling
Yeah,
that sort of move. So yeah, I'd probably do that. I think if to get Salah, I'd have to squeeze out someone like Trent, who I'm quite happy having him in my team, and like he's a nice cash cow just in case. So
yeah.
yeah, I'd probably do a move like that. Or yeah, if I can't squeeze the money there, it would be like Johnson. Yeah, it would be like Diaz, Johnson, Saka, Palmer.
I
Mm.
kind of hope
Make it interesting, but I think that'd be a very
it does,
common
doesn't it?
move, right? If he was out.
Yeah. I think it'd been. I kind of. Well, I don't want to wish any bad on any players, but I kind of wish he was out because it makes my moves easier.
Yeah,
Um,
it does, doesn't it?
but I don't think he will be from that Carsley quote.
Mm.
But we'll move on to probably a very short section because captain option again, like this game week, not the most inspiring of choices.
Mm.
Big players are all here: Haaland, Salah, Saka, Gordon, Watkins. Haaland's expected on the fantasy football fix points predictor to get the most. And that on the right, that column on the right, by the way, should say expected goals conceded per 90, not expected goals involvement
Mm-hmm.
by mistake of the teams that they're playing. So he's
Mm-hmm.
expected to get the most points and he's playing the worst defense. Would you
Yeah.
consider anyone else?
Um, I don't think so. No one's massively inspiring. So I don't think any of these fixtures are great, right? Like the kind of ones you want to be at home or away, right? Which does make an impact. I think there's an argument to say a Spurs player would be good. Obviously, the early kickoff, but a Solanke I think is pretty interesting at home to West Ham.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to go there, but I think that's a alternative to the guys that you've got listed here. Yeah, again,
Haaland.
kind of quite a muted reaction. Like, yeah, Haaland away to Wolves is probably the best bet, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's like feeling pumped about it.
From memory, I know it was a bit of a fluke. The Chelsea scored 6 at Wolves, right? That was at the Molineux,
Yeah, I
not
mean,
mistaken.
that was like a weird game though, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I just, I can, it's like if that game finishes Wolves 1 just to wipe out my Edison clean sheet, and he also gets a booking. If it wiped out, you could quite easily see that being a 3-4-1 City.
Cunha's scoring, isn't he?
Yeah, just to wind me up. Uh, and then I don't know how he's going to get his booking this week because if the 4-1 up is, it's not time wasting, but he'll pick it up somehow. Do a little foul outside the box or something. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's Haaland. Haaland,
yeah.
Haaland, Haaland.
Hmm.
Well, let's move on to Matt versus Dave. Now we are at 3-3. So you won. It's been 2 weeks since we gave the results, but you won 2 weeks ago, and then this week I've ended up getting the victory. We were both a bit fortunate to score any points. So Trossard, Timber, and Martinelli. You had two of them. I had one of them. None of them started. Timber was
Yeah, weird,
injured
eh?
because I don't even think he was on the bench.
Very,
Um,
very weird.
Yeah, and then Trossard came off the bench but didn't return. Martinelli came off the bench and got a goal, took him to 6. And then my second player was Sancho, who played 80 minutes roughly, but didn't
Yeah.
do anything in that 1-1, but got 2 points. So a steady 8 points for me, 1 point for you, takes the score to 3-3. It's like last season, mate. Just nobody can get any more than 1 or 2 ahead, and it just keeps getting pulled back. So,
Back and
um,
forward.
but you are first.
Me first. Yeah, I think it's quite an easy one. I think, when we're talking through, again, common theme, right? A thread here. Yeah, my first pick was who you had as first choice. So yeah, I'm going to go Delap at home to Everton. So yeah, Ipswich home to Everton. 3 goals in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Penalties,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think it's 4.9% owned, so it just squeezes in.
He is. He
Based around
scrapes.
5% and under. Yeah, it scrapes in. So on the get him whilst it still lasts. Yeah.
He's got prior to that as well. He's got 2 and 3 and 2, but 4 and 5. So it's not just a very short period. He's doing it. He's doing well. And yeah, I picked him first because I don't trust the Everton defense at all. So I know they just kept a clean sheet against Newcastle, but they had expected goals conceded data of over 2. They got very lucky to keep that clean sheet. So yeah, I think he's a good pick. I've just bought up a slide not too long ago with a guy called Adama Traore on it.
Yeah, nice.
And I can't not go for him based on this. But I know I might be laying it on the stats too much, but expected goal involvement per 90 of 0.63. He's at home. He's 3.7% owned. Fulham seem to be playing well. They could very easily beat City. Now he has at home to Villa, and I think Villa are obviously they're a very good side, but
Yeah.
again they concede. They concede goals.
No, true.
So for that reason, I'm gonna play Adama Traore.
Oh, nice.
And I never thought I'd say that on this game.
They got a high line as well in there, so that could
Yeah.
play into it. So yeah, I like it. I think that's a good pick. My second, I'm gonna go a bit of a minus risk, but yeah, I'm gonna go Rashford. So home to Brentford, who been defensively not great, and I think he hasn't played much this year, but he's actually started all but 1 game this season, right? So he's been some 90 minutes, but other games he's getting subbed. But yeah, I think there's enough there that he's a decent attacking prospect. I'm not gonna go into stats mode like but
they
ain't great. But
no, he's but he scored in Europe, and so I know he's only got 1 in the Premiership, but he has been scoring in cup competitions. I was just looking at the percentage owned of the United players, and I don't recall it ever being so low. Like Bruno Fernandes, 6.8% owned. Like when has it ever been that low?
yeah, no, it's mad. I think, kind of ironically, when you talk about Diaz replacements, on paper he's the best one, right? With a really nice fixture run, 90 minutes. But I think everyone's just waiting for the manager to potentially leave to unlock all these players, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, 90 minutes until he gets sent off.
Might go back there, but yeah, I think it would be a change in management with him playing as a 10 rather than like an 8 would make all the difference. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, yeah. But yeah, like you said,
Weird. So Rashford, Delap Rashford, Adama Traore. I am going to pick, and I know he got benched last week, but I'm picking Martinelli. I feel Arsenal struggled against Southampton. Struggle's a hard word, but they did a strong word. But it was 1-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And until Martinelli came on, and then came on and scored, that result was a bit on the line. So I've got to think Arteta's looking at that and thinking he's got to start Martinelli again. And he's away at Bournemouth. I could see Arsenal picking up 2 or 3 goals there. He's getting involved in the goals of late. So, he won me it last week. Let's hope he can win me it again this week coming. So I'm gonna stick with Martinelli. So yeah, Delap and Rashford against Martinelli, and for the first time, Adama Traore. I suppose Delap for the first time as well in this game. No, it's probably Rashford's first time, because when has he ever been under 5?
There's a decent 4 players there, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think there could be some, not to jinx it, there could be some decent points on the go. But let's go into game week 8, and again, it might be a quick one because I think this role is a heavy potential for us both. But What are you thinking of doing? And that should say game week 8. So you can see I've been on. Should say game week 8 reveal.
Yeah, game week 8. So I'm looking at my team, and there's a lot of away fixtures, and there's no great matchups really. So I'm looking at my team, and I'm feeling very underwhelmed. But likewise, I'm looking at what other players I can get, and it's the same story. I think it's because all the big teams are kind of like playing each other the next couple of games. So it's kind of hard to find like really obvious transfers. So my team's Flecking away to United, Trent at home to Liverpool, Gabriel Saliba away to Bournemouth, Saka away to Bournemouth, Mbumo United, Rogers away at Fulham, Diaz home to Chelsea, Solanke home to West Ham. That's kind of the only fixture I'm really like looking forward to. Calvert-Lewin away to Ipswich, and Haaland Captain away at Wolves. So yeah, quite underwhelming there. Yeah, I'm kind of finding it hard to kind of like make moves that are going to be long term, like optimal and stuff like that. So, assuming Saka's fit, if Saka was injured, I think is a good time to jump off. But I'm going to presume he's fit, so I'm probably going to stay there. Like you said, Diaz is probably the one to watch out for. So yeah, for me, I'm going into this week with free transfers, which is really good. If I was going to make a move at this current state of play, it would be Diaz out for someone, and that someone could be a Spurs midfielder. Again, I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy about any of those options, so I may just roll. And I think it depends, like how strong I feel that Diaz is starting. If I feel like he's starting, I'll keep him. Quite simply.
Yeah. Now they do play on the Sunday, Liverpool, the 4:30 kickoff. So we might not get the release of that information.
Yeah. No, exactly. So yeah, that's the risk you're running. But
That's the gamble.
yeah, I'm just thinking all the other options, unless I go with Spurs player, they're not screaming out as must own, especially this game week, right? So I'm looking at Eze's away to Forest. That's a tough game. That's a tough game. Obviously, Bowen is playing Spurs. That could be good from an attacking point of view, but like, yeah, West Ham, I'm not really favouring them. Yeah, it's just very underwhelming, like the options.
Yeah, I get it. And you're covering Tottenham anyway with Solanke.
No, for sure. And like, Johnson could be. Johnson actually, I think was he's an injury risk. Was he playing against? Is he playing tonight? I'm not sure. Have a quick look.
You realise he had a potential injury? That'd be.
Yeah, I think he's got a potential injury. Yeah, he's not in the squad, so I think he's been sent back.
Interesting.
So yeah, he might
another Saka injury.
Well, yeah, maybe. So yeah, like it's tough. And like I can't see like a player that stands out as that Diaz replacement. And then next game week, there's kind of more interesting moves because City start their really nice run. Arsenal have their tougher run at the start of it. So maybe it's a kind of better time to move. Like next game, we can do a couple of moves together. So yeah, like it's that 50-50 decision now, whether it's like Diaz out or hold.
Yeah, get it. I get it. Well, unsurprisingly, mine's a very similar story. I think I'm more likely to move Diaz out than you probably are yourself. Yeah, my team's okay. I'll just run through the differences. So you've got Saliba, whereas I've got Aina. Aina at home to Palace. I've spoke about this all season. I'm a big fan of the Forest defence. I think they've proven themselves. They do a bit like City. They do seem to concede the odd goal every game, even with good underlying stats. But quite happy to have Aina on the pitch at home to Palace. I think the midfield is the same, if I'm not mistaken. We're both bench Semenyo, and then up front, I've got Havertz on the pitch instead of Solanke. Havertz away at Bournemouth. Again, happy with that. I think Fix put out some stats on their X account, which showed you the underlying data of Havertz when Odegaard is in the squad and when he's not in the squad. and it's much higher expected returns when he isn't in the squad. So I'm hoping Odegaard to come out
Okay.
this weekend. Yeah, that
Oh,
surprised me. Absolutely surprised me. So yeah, I'm hoping Odegaard isn't in the squad, but Saka is, and Havertz can finally start taking some of those chances. Because yeah, 14 over the last 2 game weeks. Happy with that return, but he should have had more. But yeah, I don't hate the squad. I've got 2 free transfers. Could quite easily roll. I also the move I'm looking at, if I was to pick now, I would sell Diaz and I've underlined Maddison, and I'd bring in Maddison because I think he's the better of the Tottenham options. And I'm looking at the fixtures, Liverpool fixtures in the next 4. They've both got Villa. Liverpool and Tottenham have both got Villa, so ignore that. The other 3 fixtures, Liverpool have Chelsea, Arsenal, and Brighton. Tottenham have West Ham, Palace, and Ipswich. So I think over the next 4 game weeks, Maddison will outscore Diaz. He's guaranteed the minutes as well. He's on
Yep.
more set pieces. So it's not a short-term move I'd make. It'd be there for
No,
the
that's
next four
interesting.
game weeks minimum. So that's the move I've got my eye on, but I need to wait for Friday, mates, because I've got 3 ambers, and it might mean I need to deal with one of them instead. So I'm not against keeping Diaz, but yeah, if there's no injuries, I find out Saka's fine, I find out Havertz is fine, I could quite easily do Diaz to Madison. What do you
Yeah,
think?
makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, kind of like the move. Yeah, sound logic. Sound logic. I don't
Yeah,
know why I'm feeling so just like unexcited by the
that's
prospect of
cool.
these replacements.
I'm cool with that. I'm
Um,
cool with the fact that you haven't gone, you an idiot, is that's a win for me.
yeah,
If you're like, you know what, it makes sense. Makes sense why you get Madison. I'll take it.
we could do with Havertz being a midfielder again.
I could.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be nice. But I don't mind having again. I mean, I'm kind of spoiling it for next week, but regardless of what I do this week, I'm going in with at least two free transfers next week. Havertz is coming out, I imagine, unless something else drastic happens to my squad. Because yeah, I don't want 3 Arsenal players for that fixture run. So it's yeah, Havertz's last chance to do something for me.
yeah.
Like something proper. I want a double-digit returns. What I want from him. But yeah, there you go. Madison, Diaz to Madison or roll
Yeah.
is where I'm going to end up. Um, but that, my friend, is the end of that. Um, I'm hoping this game week brings back a bit of the joy, because I think next week you mentioned before there's some interesting fixture swings for maybe Man City and Arsenal, so a bit more maybe to tempt us because yeah, this week just feels like yeah, just everything. Leave your squad as this sort of game week, so there's not loads to as you say get excited about.
What do you want? Some controversy, some injuries,
Go on,
suspensions.
go on. Who's suspended?
I don't know.
Oh, that's what we want. Is that what you
Yeah,
say? That's what we
yeah.
want.
It's like bring some
I'm
excitement.
not these. Yeah, not these suspensions that get served in the Carling Cup or whatever it's called nowadays, because those fake suspensions.
Yeah,
I mean, like Trossard was sent off. Why is he playing again? Oh, he served it in the cup. What a load of rubbish. Or the sending off of people like Bruno Fernandes only for it to get overturned, and then he gets sent off in Europe as well. That's sort of
you sound
controversy.
like a
It's what
miserable
we
old man.
don't need. I do, don't I? I do. It's just quite funny to see Fernandes sent off twice in a row. Um, if you didn't know, I'm a Liverpool fan. Anything against United's good news. I don't want Ten Hag going anywhere. Quite happy for you to not be
Yeah,
assets for the rest of the season. Now I sound bitter and old. Um, but yeah, you look forward to being back at least. It's I know it's not the most exciting transfer game week, but looking forward to it being back and another couple of
no,
weeks
yeah,
before
yeah. I
international
think
routing again.
I'm fully expecting by 1 p.m. to be like, oh, this is back again.
Especially if you're captain Solanke, the early kickoff.
Even that, yeah. I mean, there's not a huge amount of differences in teams. It's like he is a difference for me, right? So yeah, I got high expectation. He's been looking good though. He's been looking good. So I want him to get a decent return, just so you don't have the perfect jump off Havertz option. Going to Solanke and
Yeah, but
you haven't been punished.
it'd be the week out, yeah, because it would be
Yeah.
the perfect move. I saved myself 0.7 million on that transfer. Um, And he's only Solanke's only like 11% owned as well. That's fairly low ownership.
No,
As you said,
about 30% at the beginning of the season, and controversially didn't go down in price at all.
Yeah, despite the injury and people jumping
injury,
right off him. Yeah, that was interesting that he didn't drop in price. Yeah, Aina did. Aina dropped in price. He's gone back up now, but when he went down to 4.4, it was like nobody owns this guy. Like, how was he dropped? The only reason I owned him is because of Mark Sutton's. So it's so that's weird price moves. Oh yeah, so no, but it should be a good game week. Hopefully, we both get some decent green arrows and we catch up. That 81 points lead to the top of our division goes down to maybe 50. Let's aim for a 30 point swing.
What are you betting on? Like an Edison assist? That's what you need.
Exactly that. He's done one this season already. Why not? Why not get another?
I could see Madison doing well. To be fair, I think that's a decent move, and I could see him doing pretty well.
Yeah, and now I'm assuming though Son's still out. I've got to think Solanke's got to be on the pins, right?
I think he'd be on there anyway, actually.
I had a Son. Do you reckon? Interesting. Be interesting if they're both on the pitch.
I don't know. That's not based on any logic. That's just like, I think he is.
Did they get one against Everton? No, Everton beat them They beat Everton 4-0. Was one of them a pen?
No.
Was it not? All right. Yeah. Just be interesting to see them. But yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. Well, we'll end it there, Matt. We'll end it there. My slides will be up to date next week. I don't know why that said game week 7 and the other thing I messed up, but they'll be back. They'll be perfect. And if I can work out how to make a decent theme tune, if anybody's listening and you want to make us a little theme tune, feel free to send it to us on Twitter. Yeah.
What's your instrument of choice?
Guitar. Guitar for me. What do you prefer?
What for the theme tune? I'm going for penny flute.
Yeah. Okay, so we want a penny flute and a guitar mix. That's what we're after. A little mix of those two. If anybody wants to make it to us, feel free. And then send it to either at FPL Corps or at FPL_apprentice1. And we will, if anybody does send us one, the chances are we'll probably use it as long as you give us free royalties for using it. Otherwise, we'll find one somewhere that we can use. But yeah, Matt, appreciate you joining us. We will catch up with you again next week, of course. But may your arrows be green, my friend.
My pleasure. And to you as well.
A pleasure. And thank you to you, the listener. If you are with us and you have been, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. If you aren't subscribed, is what I'm trying to say. Please do click that subscribe button. It does help us out. It means other people can find us as well. And may your arrows be green too. This has been a shamble of a show. All the best for game week 8, everybody. We'll catch you in game week 9 when we might be a little bit more professional than we were this week. But until then, all the best and speak to you.